Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to the Borderline Podcast with me, your host, Andrew Willix. Firstly, a very happy new year, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time over the Christmas break, and we're back with season 2, I guess, so to speak. And joining me tonight to discuss a very big fundraiser that I'm sure you've seen me talk about on my Instagram page at Andrew's Anxiety Adventure. We Are the Universe is fellow team member Yasmin Doyle. Welcome back on the Borderline Podcast, Yasmin. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be back and to discuss the future potential of the podcast.
It's going to be a big year.
Definitely.
It's going to be a massive year. How's just for obviously you got a lot of fans, a lot of plays on the podcast as well. So thank you very much. What's been happening since we spoke last?
So over the Christmas period, we kind of had I had a little bit of a break. Like a week or so, and then I just tried to get back to it. So I'm literally just getting back to doing a little routine now. I'm trying to up my calories as well, so I'm kind of getting used to that. I've put on a bit as well, where it's I'm a little bit more bulkier than I was for the first podcast. So it's I'm just getting used to I can push more weight and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. So it's
how's the strength come up? Has it come up quite well?
Yeah. I can handle more reps and more weight, so it's good for building muscle. But I kind of need to start thinking about a cut potentially again. So it's just
I suppose January. Yeah. It's kind of getting to that stage. Has there been much change to your actual training kind of programming, or not that we want to delve deep into it like last time, but has there been any sort of changes with that, or is it still the same sort of failure, well past failure?
Essentially, yeah. Well past failure and a lot of hypertrophy work. But I've added, instead of 5 days, it's now 6. So I've now added a second leg day in.
Oh, wow,
so glutes and abs like I did today. Just to add a little bit more mass on, and then on top of the runs as well for the up and coming events.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, how's adapting running into the gym routine? How are you finding that?
Quite difficult. I'm not really a cardio person. Through prep, it was just horrendous to do cardio. I just didn't have any motivation. So it's I don't really have a lot of motivation to do the runs, if you know what I mean. I've not really been as consistent as I should have been with the runs, considering we have a week left until the 5K.
Have you managed to run 5K yet, or are you saving it to the day?
I'm saving it to the day, but I'm trying to continue a pace. So basically just stay at a pace and not stop. My issue is once I've stopped, to just walk. And then be as long as I keep moving, that's okay. But I do need to just keep running, and I've made a little playlist and stuff, try and match the beats and stuff like that. So
music's massive for running. Or it is for me. I speak to some people and they're like, no, I don't listen to anything. I'm like, what? No,
I couldn't run.
There's something wrong with them.
I genuinely couldn't run without music.
No, I definitely couldn't run without music. But so you're doing the 5K. That's next Saturday.
It is indeed. Yeah.
You nervous?
A little bit, because I don't really know what the averages are for a 5K. I've never ran properly before, so I don't know the averages. Or
I think last August at that fun run, and that I'm just going off I based myself then as kind of novice runner again. I think I was just over half an hour, maybe about 30 minutes 20 seconds or something like that. So
okay, cool. So aim for around about half an hour. Cool.
Yeah, just take it nice and take it at your pace.
Yeah.
Don't burn out straight away.
Yeah,
don't be a hero.
Yeah, that's my issue. I just want to go for it, and then I'll end up dying.
Adrenaline will kick in on the day as well. You'll get a good buzz. Honest, best feeling in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely one of the best feelings in the world. But
what wave are you in? I'm wave 2. You got to book what wave you were in.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm wave 2.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be in wave 1 with all the...
No, I do not have a clue. Sorry. I really need to go back and check absolutely everything.
Yeah.
But no, I'll look into that. In fact, no, I'll look after the podcast because I've got about 200 emails on my phone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fair. No.
But no, the 5K is obviously a big build up to later in the year for the Great North Run. how are you feeling about that? Obviously, it's a months away.
Yeah.
So you got a long time.
I mean, I've always wanted to do it. It's always
Yeah.
been like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I put in for the ballot. I think it was last year, and I didn't get in.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, well, and I was kind of glad because it was literally just after prep as well. So I was like, I'd rather not do a half marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite excited for it. Like, as long as I think my goal is as long as I finish and I'm not like taking hours about it. Like, yeah, I'm really quite excited about it.
Yeah.
Just like,
no, honestly, it's like I've talked about it to a lot of different people recently, and it's by far one of the best things I've done in my life. I said I was speaking to somebody at work the other day about it, and it's like, I got really emotional. It's just like the end of it is just spectacular. Like, it's worth every bit of pain of the actual run. But yeah, no, you'll absolutely smash it. You'll absolutely smash it. But obviously, the Great North Run is for We Are the Universe, which obviously is mine and Yasmin's big 2024 fundraiser. And for those of you that maybe don't know what We Are the Universe is all about, is basically we've selected 5 charities that are really close to us. They are Andy's Man Club, Mind, Ouch UK, Women's Aid, and Bark, which is Berwickshire Animal Rescue Kennels. 2 of my cats have came from there, which I absolutely love very dearly, and they do absolutely amazing, tremendous work with every other kind of animal too. So we want to try and raise at least a minimum of £1,000 for each one of these charities by the end of 2024, which I think we'll manage to do with what we kind of have lined up, because we are really quite setting the bar for ourselves and kind of pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. As we say, for context, like you've just heard Jasmine talk about, cardio was not her thing. And now she's doing the Great North Run, which is absolutely incredible. We've also got a load of other things lined up, such as Monroe climbs, skydiving. I've got High Rocks in March, which is absolutely killing me right now. I hope, by the way, that you should definitely try that sometime too.
I was tempted, I'm not gonna lie, when you mentioned that you were gonna do High Rocks, I started like actually searching into what High Rocks is. Maybe like not the one that you're participating in, but maybe like one later on in the year.
Yeah, I think you'd be really good at it. I think you would. I'm surprised at myself. Like, honestly, like 2 weeks ago, I was like, there's not a chance I'm going to be able to do this. But
I mean, if I train for it, then
sure, that's it. You've got the right mentality. You've got the winner's mentality. So you know that as soon as you're going to put your mind to it, it's going to get done. So we'll just want to obviously talk a little bit about the 5 charities, and Ouch UK is the one that's really personal to you, which focuses on cluster headaches.
It is, yeah.
So
they're basically like an advice line where it's like cluster headaches aren't exactly a well-known thing. They're really actually quite rare, and the people that tend to experience this kind of get like misdiagnosed usually, and it's usually just like medications and stuff that you get put onto, like propranolol, which is also an anxiety medication. Sometimes it doesn't actually work, so then like the charities, they get paid to give advice. It's like, right, what can you do? And then after a certain while, if things aren't helping, then they get like put onto like a psychiatrist, like sort of people that can actually have a look at what's the triggers, stuff like that.
What kind of triggers that? Propranolol, I don't know about you, just personally for me, it's something that I've taken before, obviously for anxiety, and it just doesn't ever seem to be the one that really kind of nudges my personal anxieties. But I guess the sad thing is that when you put up the posts every day about your fundraiser, it actually just put them to Google, cluster headaches, NHS, there's nothing on there.
No,
like, there is absolutely nothing.
No one, I mean, it's not really a well-known thing, as I've just said. It's like a very rare thing, and it literally says on the leaflet here, it's a rare neurological disorder estimated to affect under 0.2% of the population. Wow. And you know, like the pain, it can be measured up to like childbirth.
Well, that's like obviously on the NHS, the kind of the red lighting bit was always severe pain. It's just... Oof.
Yeah, it's not great, because usually, like, where cluster migraines are concerned, as I've just said, they tend to just prescribe you medication. So what I used to be on was propranolol, but then I also had sumatriptan, which was my, like, the one where it's like, if you felt it coming on, you take it.
Yeah.
And then you have another one where it's like a side effect one where you have to take like a sickness tablet, because then if you puke it up, then it's not really going to work. Yeah. And on top of that, sometimes you'd even then have to like take ibuprofen or paracetamol or aspirin. And, you know, the amount of painkillers you have to take to even like get through your day, like that, it doesn't even take it away. Yeah, it's not great. So, I mean, I've not been on them for a long time now, so I'm handling it quite well. I do still get migraines, and as some people see in the gym, like when I'm wandering around with glasses on, that's the reason why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that why? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because like sometimes the light's a massive trigger.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I knew you were gonna mention this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Light, heat, sound all at the same time is like something that's like really sort of, so when I'm in the gym, like it's not great, but like turning it off's not going to do anything. Once I have one, like,
that's it.
So it's kind of just like put my sunglasses on, and like the way that like you go through the gym, and the way that you feel the reps and stuff like that, it kind of takes away from the pain that you're feeling anywhere else, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. So that's why it's quite good to go to failure, because I'm so focused on...
So there's a hyper focus...
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I'm so focused on actually completing the reps and trying to get as much of, like, good reps as possible, that I'm actually forgetting about the fact that it's hurting somewhere else. So
that's incredible. Go you.
Thank
That's what I was trying to think there. I was just, Jesus, that's strong. But no, like I say, obviously I could sympathise anything that's under researched, under awareness, so to speak. It's hard to try and elevate a voice for, and again, that's what We Are the Universe is trying to encapsulate. It's giving a voice to the quieter ones, and it's also trying to go. We're going to try and elevate people and bring people to a different level that they didn't think was possible. And that's the thing about We Are the Universe, is anybody can join. If you have another charity in mind, bring it in. It's on the GoFundMe page that we can add in more charities as the events go on. So if there is something that's very particular to you, that means a lot to you, bring that into the table, and we can add that into the fundraiser. All that we said in return is that once the targets have been met, so that the continued fundraising goes back to the 5 original charities that me and Yasmin set out for. I don't know how I'm going to do skydiving though. I am terrible at heights.
You'd actually be surprised. Like, I don't know what it is with you, but like if everyone's feeling the same way, I get sort of like a comfort out of it almost, where it's like, well, at least I'm not the only one, sort of thing.
See, I'm the selfish person that doesn't think. No, I just I'll be fine. As you say, stuff like that, I think if everybody's all in it together, it's going to be it's going to be the adrenaline of the year that I think everything's going to keep on pushing us through anyway. But we've got loads else in mind. Obviously, Shark Dives 2 is another one that we're hoping to do, and that, obviously that's why I'm trying to do a lot of these social events, such as quizzes, band nights, and whatnot, to help fund our fundraiser, because while charities are meeting us for Saturday things, there's a lot of us we are going to have to try and, well, we're not going to fund ourselves, it's going to be from the fundraiser. So the more that we can raise on these nights, it's absolutely crucial and massive. But obviously the charity, just going back to the charity, the charity that's obviously really important to me is Andy's Man Club. which they seem to be going from strength to strength just now. Like the last 6 months, their elevation has been nothing short of meteoric. Is that the right word? Yeah. And there's from what I believe, very shortly there's going to be a venue opening up in Eyemouth.
Amazing.
Which is massive. I was originally asked I offered to facilitate it, but I'm not quite ready at that stage yet. But I'll certainly be attending. So if anybody from Eyemouth wishes to join, get yourself there. It's a great place for men to talk about your issues. Obviously, everything's completely confidential, and week by week they get more and more members. It's frightening. Obviously, it's usually every Monday. For it's a nice close social environment, a support group for men, as I say, just to talk about their problems and to help and try and get the male suicide numbers down. That is basically how they started. Was one of them lost their brother to suicide, and then started a little support group, and it's just erupted from there. Yeah. So it's good. It's really good to be involved in charities that are obviously close to us, and because of that, we've got this stupidly big physical challenge that we're going to try and conquer. Now, you need to bear with me a second while I try and explain the context and how this challenge has kind of came about. So obviously last year I was kind of brainstorming ideas to what we could do for We Are the Universe in terms of physical challenges. And while it's great to do marathons and mountain climbs and skydives and whatnot, it's good to do something completely different. And I had an idea then of lifting the weight of a Boeing 737. And that if I had 3 other people, that would have been the equivalent of lifting the number of suicides in the UK in 2023. But that kind of made the challenge a little bit exclusive. And what I really wanted to do was to obviously to raise more awareness and get more and more people behind this, was to try and create a challenge that anybody can do and anybody can come and contribute to. So I done a little bit of fiddling around about the Christmas time, and what I've came up with is the total weight of everybody last year of the equivalent that had lost their life to suicide, which puts us at 508,000 kilograms, so slightly up from the already massive 41,400 kilograms that we had originally planned. So that's how my brain works. Jasmine's looking at me a little bit daunted there.
I definitely think we could do it where everyone's concerned if we dedicate a day and, like just one rep technically counts as.
But that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So the challenge itself is called lifting the weight off. And as Jasmine said there, you can come and you can do one set of the bar of 10 reps, and that's 200 kilos. That's massive, which makes the challenge so unique. And I've been speaking to, there's a couple of potentially other gyms that are maybe getting involved as well. And like I say, the more kind of momentum that we can kind of bring to an event like this, we could actually turn it quite massive in terms of what our base goal was. It could erupt. And I really do think this is going to be a really, really good one to get behind. So, so date-wise, probably looking right in the middle of the year, just with the way that training's going to have to balance off slightly.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. With you doing high rocks, and then there's the Great North Run and stuff like that, it is a big challenge. And with as many people as we can collectively get, I mean, there's loads of gyms, but there's also like the powerlifting gyms, powerlifting competitions.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like unis that specialize in like sports nutrition and stuff like that, and they tend to go to the gym. There's a lot of people that we could potentially bring in and be like.
Well, shout out to any of the listeners are up at Stirling University. I think we have a couple of listeners up there from their lifting team. And, if you guys want to get involved, use their big, strong boys and girls up there. Seen their powerlifting videos. So definitely get involved.
Yeah, 100%. Anything to contribute towards the weight, it'll be a massive help.
Yeah, because it's a 500,000 kilograms is Yeah.
It's a lot, but I think we could do it.
I think I'm going to set myself at 10,000.
Right.
10,000 kilograms is my contributions. Because originally the original math to the original challenge of the 41,000 one was something like 16 hours of bench pressing 55 kilos for 11 reps every 7 minutes or something like that. Yeah, it was something daft like that. So I'm kind of glad I've got myself out of that.
That is a lot of volume.
Yeah,
like,
it's just...
In particular, is there a certain, like, do we have to do like a bench, or is it like just pushing the weight?
Well, it's just I mean that's what. Yeah, I mean you could lift anything, I guess, because that's what it is. It's lifting the weight off. So if you want to come and deadlift the weight, if you want to come and squat the weight, if you want to come and we could, like I say, I've kind of spoken to Alan, and he seemed quite comfortable for it to happen up at the gym. So I'm sure that we could put across a nice little area in there together for a day. Cool. Can get up a nice little water station. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people leg pressing a lot of weight for a lot of reps.
Well, so. Yeah, that's it. And people love to ego lift.
I mean, I don't know whether I'll be ego lifting, I'll end up breaking something, but
I'm really weak just now with the high rocks training. That's and that's what I say. It's going to be, I think, middle of the year for this, because I think like I'm going to probably lose a little bit more strength, I'm guessing, for the next, 5 or 6 weeks anyway. Right. And then it's back to the burgers. Back to the burgers and bench pressing. Back to the bulk, the BBBs. Yeah, but my bench is terrible now. I'm down to I really struggled to bench 65 for 12 reps.
That's not that bad, though.
I mean, it's 65. Not that bad, but before Christmas I was still repping 100.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been really quite a drop off.
Quite
but
dramatic.
Yeah, but my appetite's not been great over Christmas as well. But when I don't have the kind of structure there, I'm just it's all right. I can eat 2,000 calories at 9 o'clock at night, and that will keep me going for 24 hours.
Yeah, I think the fuel is going to be what's essentially influencing the amount of weight that you're going to be able to lift.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So if you're interested, give me a message, give Yasmin a message. We'd love to train together. If anybody wants a little bit of bench pressing help, I'm not that good at it, but we could certainly put you on the right track if that's something that, same bench pressing like we've discussed. It could be anything that you'd like to lift, but the more the merrier. And honestly, I really do think this could be quite a significant event, and something that we could certainly raise a lot for the charities as well. And I'm just looking down at my notes, and I now see the next event that I've got next to the bone one is the skydiving. And like I've kind of said before, I'm terrified of heights. But yeah, I think I'm much preferring this than a bungee jump. Anyway,
I was about to say, like, the skydive is a lot easier because it's almost as if the choice is taken out your hands to jump. Like when you do like a bungee jump, you have to jump yourself, and naturally your body's telling you no. You shouldn't jump because this is how to stay alive. Exactly. Essentially, the survival instinct there just kicks in. But as you said with the Great North Run, like the feeling that you get at the end, the feeling that you get when you jump off of that plane, the adrenaline and the free fall, and then once the parachute's down, you can kind of just like parachute is up. Yeah. You can kind of look around and just
take it in.
Yeah, just admire the views. And honestly, like, if we say, for instance, did it where I did it down in the Lake District, it's beautiful. Yeah. Like, I would 100%
I could be up for that.
There.
Yeah. Let's say we've got to pick our location. Just for, obviously, the skydiving as well, me and Yasmin are obviously keen to do it. I think there's a couple others that have said that I'll need to follow up if they're still keen, but there may be a couple of additional places. And I'm just going to kind of describe a little bit the skydive and how that will kind of work in terms of the fundraising as well. So, we'll be booking our places for the skydive through Mind. So they are part of the charity, and we'll be obviously having to raise a minimum target for them, and that will be our kind of contribution through the We Are the Universe plus the extras that we make. So there is a discounted price if you do wish to do it through Mind, if it was obviously you did wish to join and it was for a different charity, you would obviously maybe have to get in touch with that charity if they could help you fundraise with it. So like I say, although that's for mine, that's gonna, the donations through that will all together go towards Andy's Man Club, Your Out UK, Women's Aid, and Bark as well. Which again is again kind of speaks volumes for what the fundraiser is all about, and that's bringing in and raising awareness from all different angles and avenues from any way that we can. And just going back to that bungee jump, I just got a recollection there of the video of in the actual the We Are the Universe video of
that's me in that video. Just the only way I can describe it is like if you hesitate, you're not gonna jump, and even though it doesn't feel like I wasn't like overthinking it on the video, it just looks like it's like 3, 2, 1, jump. The amount of sort of like thoughts that you collect when you're going up in the crane, and it's just like you're psyching yourself up, and it feels like a long time, but in reality it's like minutes that you're literally up there and down. So there's a lot of people like around as well, like say for instance I did it in Glasgow, and there's like people just walking about while you're doing this bungee jump with the thing, but the thing is there's like people watching, and like as soon as you jump, all you hear is like the screams of everyone like just saying like just well done. And the only thing I could focus on is I had my mum, my sister and my brother there, and all I heard was them going, "Go on, Yasmin," like as I jumped, and it was such a good feeling.
I love stuff like that. Just no, not that, but that the feeling at the end. Yeah. If only we didn't have to do such horrible things to get that feeling.
To be fair, the adrenaline from it is really good as well.
I bet. Like I've done, I suppose I've done things that well, not on purpose. I usually put myself in the position of heights and then realise how afraid of heights I am. Then that's as scared as I usually get with heights. But we've spoken about. Hopefully, we'll get to do a shark dive as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a big fear of a lot of other people. So again, if that's something that interests you, then get in touch with us. We might be able to put you in the right way of getting booked in and getting fundraised. And, that's what this is all about, is breaking down your barriers, pulling away those fears and anxieties, and just trying to escape from yourself a little bit, I guess, is the best way that I can put it. For We Are the Universe.
When you think about it logically as well, like it might seem scary at the start, but say for instance, if we break down like every activity, it's like the bungee jump, it's so safe. You've got crash mats, you've got like double harnesses, you have experts with the skydive as well. Like the person that I'd been that I was strapped to had done it thousands of times. Like there's no one safer that you can be with at that moment in time. With the shark dive as well, there's loads of like safety precautions that they do. Like it's very, very unlikely that anything's gonna go wrong. It's just like you start psyching up in your own head where it's like, this is going to go wrong, this is going to go wrong.
It's just your anxiety just kicking in and going, no, that fish could bite you.
Yeah.
It's not going to bite you.
Yeah.
It's got 1,000 other fish in that tank it could easily bite. It never does. They get fed. They're big though.
Yeah, they are very big.
They're big though.
They do joke about them not being fed though.
I think the biggest one there is 11 or 12 foot green earth shark, sand tigers.
I'm unsure actually.
Yeah, it's quite a big shark. If it's still the same one that was in the tank when I done it as well, they're quite.
Whereabouts did you do
it? Queen's Ferry.
Is that
Deep Sea World?
Ah, that's where I did it.
You do there too, yeah.
Yeah, I think there were about 11 or 12.
The universe brings us together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although I tell you, like, obviously I'm not scared of sharks, but the one thing that did freak me out is, when you're in that little tank before you go into the thing.
Yeah.
And when I went down and there was just like sea bass or sea bream, I was like, I didn't expect there to be fish in there.
Yeah.
Massive fright.
I mean, I think for me, like, I don't like water in itself, but I was kind of glad that I could at least see in it. like say for instance if we did out in the actual sea, like I think that would be a bigger fear of mine because I wasn't actually as scared in the tank because it's like an enclosed tank,
a controlled
yeah,
water environment.
yeah.
Would you say you're a bit of an adrenaline junkie?
I would say yeah, but like I'm scared, like the things that I do I'm really scared of, like say for instance on the last one I think you mentioned like arachnophobia and stuff like that. We had a conversation about it at least. Terrified of spiders.
Really?
I'd 100% do it though.
But would you what hold up a transit?
Yeah,
you would.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, I would.
Yeah,
but I'm not as scared of spiders.
Yeah.
So
well, I think that's quite good to like find someone that's actually like. I genuinely had a phobia of it when I was younger, and it was really, really terrifying to the point where even if it's like a money spider, something that's like so harmless, something so harmless, it's just like I couldn't deal with it. But now, I mean, if they're in the vicinity, I can cope with it. If they're on me though, I'd have to like get off.
I mean, I'm not bad with spiders, but I'm not saying I don't like them. I don't kill them, but I don't like the big garden ones, you know, the big fat bodied ones. There was one out in my greenhouse out there a couple of years ago, and it is the biggest thing I've ever seen, like biggest spider I've ever seen around here. And I would not go back in that greenhouse like weeks after it. Oh god, you terrify me. Would you ever be able to live in Australia with that, or would that creep you out too much?
I would visit, but no, I wouldn't live there because like just they're
videos,
all out to get
like, you. I could they just look so fake, but it's actually real. You know, like the huntsmen's out there that like you'll see, and they're just
they're just sitting there in the corner. But I think it's like the issue of like I'd constantly be like looking in my shoes, making sure, because you actually have to do that in Australia. Like you really actually have to check your clothes and stuff like that. And no, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, it's really weird because, like I say, I'm not scared of sharks, but I'd be hesitant about swimming in the water in Australia. Although I've got a massive fear of jellyfish. I hate jellyfish.
That's valid.
Oh god, they're disgusting. They just freak me out.
I mean, they hurt you
they
quite
really
bad.
Hurt you.
So
if anybody's scared of spiders, let's go up to Butterfly World, and we'll go hold some tarantulas.
100%.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good little challenge. Yeah.
But again, like if you think about it logically, if we go up to Butterfly World, like they're constantly being held. They know how to. They're almost trained at that point. So it's not like you're going outside and you're picking up this massive huntsman spider.
No. It's
like they're actually trained and they're not going to do anything to you. They're just going to sit and chill. It's going to be terrifying, but at least you know.
Yeah. I say, I think I'd be okay with the spiders. Scorpions creep me out a little bit. I don't know if you're allowed to hold them up there. If they're
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. They really they really creep me out, actually. Come to think of snakes on that, I'm absolutely. Are you scared of snakes?
I mean, it really depends. Like the instinct would kick in if it's, say, like, wrapped around my neck. Like, if it was just going round and it wrapped around your neck, I'd feel like claustrophobic and be like, right, get this off me now. But in terms of like snakes, I'd hold a snake. I was gonna say snakes are cool. Like again, I couldn't deal with anything that was too venomous. Adders freak me out. I've never seen an adder around here ever, but the thought of them freaks me out enough. It's just anything. And just to, obviously we're talking about kind of going up to Butterfly World. Kind of one of the things that I was wanting to put in place that if anybody did kind of fancy, you know, anything that you're kind of scared of heights, but you're kind of like, you know, I don't really want to fancy going from like 0 to skydiving, is that I'd quite like to organise a day out up to Go Ape. 100%.
Which I think would be a really fun, good kind of activity day, because, I mean, like, people like me, I'm absolutely terrified of heights, so that's like quite a good little starting point, especially for the skydive. But another thing that we kind of want to do with We Are the Universe that this would really help me for is actually like the Monroe climbing, because this is going to be a completely new thing for me. It's obviously not for you.
I mean, I've done one, so I would say I'm very, very novice, you know. But 100% doing like more Monroes, like even the prospect of like Ben Nevis would be appealing to me.
So again, when obviously it's early January just now, but when the weather starts picking up a little bit, we're starting moving into spring. We'll be looking for, little groups and whatnot that we can all go up and do some Monroe challenges and some climbs and whatnot. And like Jasmine said, perhaps Ben Nevis, you never know where it might take us. But yeah, Go 8 for me, that's going to help with that because I don't know. Does it ever really get that scary when you're out on a mountain climb? I think I might ask that last time.
It really depends on like where you are. Like
Yeah.
at the peak, it is quite daunting. Like say, for instance, when I did my first one, it was really foggy and stuff. So like I think I would have been less intimidated if it had been clear, because then at least I could see. But like with the fog, you couldn't really see what was there. So the prospect of like, right, you're really high up, this is a little bit more intimidating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really cool, and hopefully we get some good sights as well, because it does suck if you go up every single Monroe and all you can see is nothing.
Just a little cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely devastated if that happens to me.
Yeah.
I'm just going totally off topic here. You've not watched Aftershock on Netflix?
I have not, no.
No, it's just talking about being at the top of the mountains. It's about if anybody's listening, go watch it. It's absolutely incredible. It's about the people up on Everest during the Nepalese earthquake in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, really terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievably terrifying.
Like a documentary or like a reenactment of what happened?
No, it's a documentary, 3-part documentary. It's not all about Everest. There's like Everest. There's a valley about these group of guys that go up a valley and they get caught up in there, and then obviously in Kathmandu, where it was just absolute carnage. But the Everest part, I won't put any spoilers on, is just like watching it is. I'm not saying like shocking like bodies and whatnot. It's just shocking. Mm-hmm. Like the force of nature, like up in the top. But yeah, incredible. Anything like Everest and that really fascinates me.
Yeah.
Any kind of like mountain climbing like that. Not that this is ever going to transgress into that. I've already been warned from Sass when we were watching that after. So she says, "Don't you get any ideas?"
Yeah. No, it's fair. For anyone, obviously, that's not to scare anyone off, but like we would have to be prepared in terms of Monroes. So if we were to do like a group expedition, say to Ben Nevis, like the weather can change so dramatically up there because you're up such a height, where it's like it might be nice where you started, but it won't be if you're in a cloud inversion or anything like that. So I think like the proper necessities for like the boots, like everything that you need to wear, like clothing wise, like first aid kits, like walking poles, anything that we need, it would need to be like organized properly.
Pretty sure I've got a belter mountaineering backpack still somewhere.
Yeah.
God, I knew I shouldn't have sold it all them years ago. I knew one day it was going to come in handy that I was going to climb a mountain.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Now's my chance. I tell you what else could actually be quite good for stuff like that. It's obviously rock climbing. You did mention. So
yeah. So I mean, as an alternative method of climbing a height, there's the rock climbing where you're strapped to a harness. So if anything goes wrong, at least you're. But there's one up in Edinburgh that's like, it is quite a height. If you get to the top, you have to abseil down, sort of thing. Yeah.
Seriously?
It is, yeah, I don't know how high it is, but when I was there, I was quite intimidated by how high it was. But I think definitely going back and seeing whether I could reach the top is definitely a prospect. But there's other ones as well where you can like go outdoors and actually like abseil down crevasses and stuff like that. There's like caving as well. There's a lot of things that we could do with heights, like that doesn't necessarily have to be a skydive or a bungee or whatever.
Well, that's it. I mean, like I say, fears are subjective, and again, what We Are the Universe is all about is it doesn't matter what your fear is. Anything can be your Everest, so to speak. It's all about getting the support to then be able to push you to go and be able to do it. And as Yasmin says there correctly, it doesn't need to be the absolute pinnacle of what you need to go out straight away. It's all about small wins.
Yeah.
And what might be a small win for us could be an absolute massive goal for you, and that's all, you know, subjective and circumstantial to the individual, and that's, you know, that's something that's really important to remember in charity and donating to charities, is that you don't always need to go for the absolute maximum all the time. It's sometimes about the narrative and the people that you bring along the way at the same time, and 2024 is going to be absolutely incredible.
Definitely, yeah. I think the third charity as well. So we've mentioned.
Sorry, yes.
Ouch and Addy's Man Club. Yep. So there's Women's Aid.
Yes.
So as far as my recollection, Women's Aid is for domestic abuse. I think it's a fairly big charity.
Yeah,
where
it's
that's
a very
concerned.
large. It's a very large charity.
But a really, really important one where there's a lot of people that don't want to seek help because they're scared of the potential repercussions of seeking that help, and you know, thinking that things are okay, like certain behaviors and stuff like that, and having the charity there to be like, hold up, this isn't actually okay, and giving them advice and giving them potential places to stay, or, you know, even a little bit of refuge for a little bit, you know. Everything matters at that point. Yeah. So bringing awareness to individuals, so then if they did see that in their lives, it's like, hold on, this isn't how I'm supposed to be treated. And that other people in, say, close family members or friends, whoever it is, you know, they'll spot the signs, and no one deserves to be treated like that. So it's definitely a really important charity. And
especially when you talk about the statistical numbers, especially in the UK, which is haunting, for domestic abuse and domestic violence. Like you say, irrespective of the fact that it's a big charity because it's a massive problem. Yeah. And it's something that we all need to speak about more. Yeah. Because the more we speak about it, the more that we give strength and courage to those that are suffering. And as much as we can say, you know, speak up, a lot of the people do suffer in silence.
100%.
Because of that. And, you know, that is what the charity is for. So that's obviously a really important one that we brought on board. Mind. So Mind's massive, obviously. Mind's been about for numerous years now, and it's kind of been, I guess you could say, the flagship charity for mental health and what they do. But they've just grown and grown and grown to a stage that, you know, you can go on there. I've used them for work. You know, you've got work handbooks there for mental health, for staters that you can download. There's anxiety toolkits, there's the CBT sessions, they've got the hotlines, they've got the numbers, they've got the advisors, they've just got absolutely everything. But they still don't even come close to being enough. Yeah. No, definitely. That's like building them up to the sad fact is that Mind are a huge charity, and I think the thing that gets overlooked is when people, you know, continually raise for charities, people, you know, it's always that, it's always Mind, it's always that. It's there because they need more, because the problem's greater. But also it's ignoring the fact that they need more, like the amount of funding that they need to stay as they are. Yeah. At the moment, you know, people forget that it takes money to actually function as a charity. You know, that you have all the aspects of people are working essentially for that charity, and it's not cheap at all. No. And the expenses of that per day, you know, even if we raise like $5,000, it's like, that's amazing for the charity, but they're still going to need more and more money and more funding to help more and more people continuously. More funding so they can continuously help more people. And that is the massive message that I think we're both trying to echo with that, is that charity needs to be long term, and fundraising needs to be long term. And it's great to do events, and it's great to pick something that, you know, we can all aspire to and really challenge ourselves to. But these charities are ongoing, and their work is ongoing, and so our work should be ongoing in a certain way. I suppose that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. In a nutshell with that.
I do like the fact that Mind in particular as well. I've seen quite a lot of their content recently. They're on social media. They're quite known in their presence in social media. I follow them, and it's quite good that they're trying to push, even where like the NHS is concerned. They're trying to push like the mental health prospects of it, like the CBT and stuff like that, saying this isn't good enough, we need to do more. And even though they're a charity, they're trying to push the awareness of the government should be,
especially on the legislative side of the law with it. They're really pushing them.
They're trying to say this isn't enough, you should be doing more, you should be allocating more funding towards these people. Because I mean, it's us that essentially keep the country running. So it is. It's the public that we need to be taking care of
massively. And well, not always just the public. Our furry little friends as well, which brings 100%. Us to our last charity. Formerly, of course, our last charity, which is again Bark, which for anybody that missed it before is Berwickshire Animal Rescue Kennels. And I have two of my little cats, Nico and Nisha. They both came from Bark. They're both little rescues. And, you know, the more and more people I speak to, the more and more people, I've rescued my animal from Bark. I rescued my animal from Bark. And you always, every time I'm in that industrial estate in Berwick, you always see them out walking. And this is volunteer work. This is the thing. This is volunteer work that you see these people do. And the work that they do, the heartache that they must go through as well because of that work must be extreme.
Definitely.
And they are a charity that will absolutely, like £1,000 for them will be quite a significant donation. We obviously want to do a lot more than £1,000 if we can. But I don't think I really need to explain Bark in the context because so many people locally do know, obviously, what all Bark do and how hard they work. So that's the 5 charities. That's all the physical work that we're going to do. But for more on support and kind of giving back, and what I've obviously tried to start doing is start hosting kind of fundraising nights and social events, as I've called them formerly. And we had a quiz night back in December, which was brilliant. Really good night had by all, and I believe while not formally announcing the date, the next quiz night will be 3 or 4 weeks away as well. And I think, as I say, if all the teams are there, I believe it might be sold out. But I'll need to double check that. But I'm also going to have a raffle that night. £1 a ticket. I've got loads of great prizes. Massive shout out again to James Gaffney, Jag Art, for once again supplying a hell of a load of gifts. Just such a lovely guy. He's donated quite a few raffle prizes as well. And I believe a couple of people from the health centre for my mum's work also. So thank you very much for that. But, obviously spoke about potentially doing band nights and something that's really kind of twigged with me, and I suppose my inspiration behind the kind of things like that is that's what I used to do, and that's what I used to love doing, and something that I've realized that it's never too late to go back and do that. And now I'm never going to be a professional musician. that dream's now gone potentially, but I can enjoy myself and I can have fun, and I love raising money for charities, so put the two together, and it should be a really good match, I'm hoping, for this year. There is obviously other social events that have been suggested to me. Bongo Bingo was one of them. Logistically, I have no idea how I'm going to be able to pull that off.
What is that? Sorry.
Well, Bongo Bingo. Okay, so it's bingo, but a rave.
All right.
Yeah, cool. It's so I think they came out, 2022, 2023 after COVID. They're like massive, like huge. They do them every kind of touring across the country in Newcastle and whatnot, and Edinburgh and whatnot. I did inquire with a local DJ about how we'd go about it, and he had said it would be very hard logistically because there's like dancers and performers, and it's obviously a huge act. I've never been, but everybody that I've heard that's went said it's absolutely absolutely off the hook. So how I could do that in a more smaller, intimate scale, I'm not really too sure. But I'm going to investigate it, and because obviously it's been asked for. So if the people want, I'm going to try and deliver for what the people get, and that way, hopefully, it'll help us raise more money for charity in the long run.
Absolutely. If there's anything that anyone can contribute and give ideas to, I have quite a few ideas of things that I was going to do originally anyway, like as a bucket list for this next year. And I thought, well, while I'm doing it, I might as well bring awareness to the charities, because it's like, well, there's not really much more effort into it, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it anyway.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And the good thing is, like, I'm massively happy to be doing it with you.
Oh,
You're very, very, very passionate and driven.
that's much appreciated.
No, I really mean it. And it's going to be, I'm really apprehensively excited. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. I am very excited, but there's also quite a lot of nerves there, because it's like, if we're talking mandatory donations, stuff like that, there's like a thing that we need to meet first before then it's extra. So it's kind of...
Yeah, which reminds me as well, I'm due my High Rocks money. So if anybody wants to go donate me, I'm gonna link to this to the GoFundMe page after this episode. So any donations would be massively welcome, because High Rocks is in 48 days now, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not long.
It's really not long for little old me.
You'll be
fine.
great. Yeah, you'll be great.
It's just that sled, man. It's just a sled, but I think I know I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to do it. But like I spoke about, and I suppose a little bit of the mental health side of it for the podcast is that the main reason I'm doing the High Rocks is because it's going to be stupidly uncomfortable for me to begin with. I'm extremely introverted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like going outside. But it's not that I don't like going outside. I just don't like social places.
Your preference is to stay in.
Oh,
rather than
much
go
way.
out.
Yeah, I'd be a burrower if I was an animal. Yeah, so this is massively outside my comfort zone. The anxiety isn't kicking in for it just yet, but I wouldn't say it's a million miles away, but it's kind of good anxiety at this stage, because I'm kind of looking forward to the challenge that I know that's going to be ahead. But I want to do this not physically but also mentally, to show that you guys can do it as well. And in that time, it'll probably be less than a year that I can't believe that I'm actually going to go and do this from where I was last year. So that is, the reason why I am doing High Rocks. And I'm not saying just because I do it, I mean that you should do it, but it's to show you that it can be done. And like I put on an Instagram post the other day, your day doesn't need to be today or tomorrow, but whenever your day does come, carpe diem and seize the day.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say following the journey that you've currently put out since the start of it, since following you and stuff like that, you've done a lot, and you're a massive inspiration to people. You said credit to me on the podcast, but essentially you're the reason that I came on the podcast. And there's a lot of people that have been asking about it, and the social events especially, there's going to be a lot of community around it, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's the thing that's really massive for me, because I believe that if we can hit this at a community level and bring community awareness, how much that changes people's lives in the background is massive. Like the confidence that can give people, and just knowing that there's support there from little nights, and there's people that feel the same as you, and we're all in it together, is massive. And that is what this is all about, really, isn't it?
It just shows from previous events, like the dip that we did as well.
Yeah.
I'd be up to do more of those.
100%.
And, there's a lot more activities that we could do that are smaller and don't have to be massive.
Yeah.
Little baby steps, and
that's what I say. Small wins.
Yeah,
small wins are huge. And if there is any, at the original quiz night, I was speaking to a couple of guys, and I was saying to them, is there anything that anything that you'd like to see around about here. And, you know, I got some really good suggestions there about hosting, you know, potentially like a darts tournament, a pool tournament. I might look into the avenues of, we used to do little football kind of round robin tournaments and stuff like that, which I think would be really kind of cool, little communal kind of fun events that again kind of hit back and target the community. But you also have a couple of other cool little ideas as well that we were just speaking about before in terms of kind of Tough Mudder.
Yeah, so Tough Mudder, essentially like the military assault course sort of style. There's also a colour run, which, as I just said before, I think it's run by Breast Cancer UK.
Yeah.
But there is other ones that do like make colour runs and stuff like that. And essentially, as it sounds, you know, you start with completely white clothing and then you end up with a rainbow on your clothing, and not just on your clothing, just all over. And I think it's a 5K as well, and you can do a 10K.
Yeah.
But it is an obstacle course, is what it is, and you can get different levels, stuff like that, suiting to every person. So naturally, I'd probably go for the colour run first.
Yeah.
So like 5K colour run, and then the Tough Mudder is a little bit more physically demanding. So it's kind of like, I'd either do one that's like shorter first, or like train up to it, because it will be quite.
Have you done a Tough Mudder before?
I've not. No, this is one that's like on my bucket list,
on the bucket
sort
list.
of thing.
Yeah, so we could do that this year.
Yeah.
It's a team thing. Do you do it as a team? You can do it as a team, can you?
Essentially, but like even like random strangers that you don't know, like they help you over the obstacles.
Really?
Like everyone helps each other.
Okay.
Because like, I don't know whether you've seen like Ninja Warrior sort of thing, like the big wall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in one of them they have one of those, but obviously it's Tough Mudder, so it's just completely covered in mud. So you're not going to be able to like scale it like you would originally. So you have like people dragging you up this wall.
I would get so frustrated.
Yeah. No, it does sound like a good lot of fun.
Yeah,
so.
that sounds like I said, the only thing that scared me, the pesky electric shocks.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's quite good that like the more events that we do, potentially having like a little box or something, or like a suggestion like book or something, so then people can be like, actually, you know, the next one I fancy doing this, and see whether it's actually possible. Yeah,
like I say, if anybody's got any ideas, I'll definitely go look into it and see how we could look into this for how to do it, and how do we kind of negotiate that into the fundraising aspect for the charities, and how do we make it work for you as well, because like I said, the possibilities are endless, and something that is going to really help get that kind of, obviously, well, the message out is the podcast. And what's been significant about the podcast over the last definitely 4 weeks, because the content's slowed down and because of the Christmas time, I fully expected the numbers to transition that way as well, but they haven't. They've done the entire opposite, and they're continually peaking, which is massive, because I know that it's working, and I know that people are following on to it despite the fact that I'm not releasing new stuff, and people are listening to past content that might be really relatable and might help them. So, and what's obviously helping that is I've been distributing the podcast onto different platforms now, so you can listen to the podcast on Amazon, Apple, and there may be a couple of lesser known ones, I'm not actually too sure, like Buzzsprout and whatnot. Soundwave should be coming quite soon. YouTube, like I've spoke about, isn't going to happen just now in the context of video episodes, but what I am still considering doing is migrating the podcast episodes across there, sticking a pretty little picture on the front of it, and then you can listen to the podcast on YouTube. I have spoken about Patreon. Now I do have a Patreon page. I'm not releasing that URL out yet. Basically, because there would be a fee to be in the subscription, I only want it to be worth it. And by the way, that if you do not feel that you can financially pay it, there'll be no questions asked. That if you come and message me and you want, past the subscription fee, I'm sure I can work that out somehow. Because it's important that people listen to the content and the message that we're trying to get out here. And that's what's beautiful about the podcast growing, is that the message of what we're doing is getting out there. And sharing our information and helping us grow is going to be crucial and key to this as well. Sharing the odd post, liking the odd post, contributing any ideas whatsoever. Don't be afraid to come up to either of us in the gym. No. If you want to have a shot at the challenge, or if you have a little suggestion, fire away. We're new to this.
100%. I think a massive part of it is for them to come up to us and feel comfortable as well, to be able to come forward. And even if it is via social media, it doesn't have to be face to face.
Yeah, exactly.
Just popping a message and being like, actually, I did listen to this podcast. I had an idea. Just put it forward, and if we can make it possible, then we can.
Yeah, I just forgot to add as well that when the Patreon page does become active, all the subscription fees directly go to We Are the Universe as well. That was the important thing, that I believe that when it does come, it's going to be $5 a month, and I'm hoping that I might be able to put that as a free month thing, like $5 for 3 months. So that's your kind of donation in as well. Dollars. Yeah, Patreon's American.
Right.
It's very annoying.
Okay, so what that'd be
like £4.60.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But like I say, the idea that I don't want to, it's really hard to try and monetize this without doing it for money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm not trying to do. But yes, I really do want the podcast to grow, and where I want to go in 2024. But this is more and more guests. So if you do want to come on the podcast, you're always welcome. But that's not just what I mean by more and more guests. I want more and more guests on at the same time, so we can have these fun discussions. So, like I say, if you want to become a team member in We Are the Universe, and you want to come on one of these cool podcasts, and we can make it a freeway next time, give one of us a message. See, how good was that? I sold it.
Yeah. Very convincing.
Very convincing. We get you jumping out of a plane in no time. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about tonight, Jasmine?
I think that's it, to be honest. We've covered quite a lot about what the charities are, what they do.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of plans.
We do have a lot of plans, yeah.
I think the key is to not take on too much more than that, and get them working sufficiently and efficiently, and try and get a lot of traction
and momentum. That's what's going to be key with this. But I'd like to thank you personally for coming on and doing this with me, because this is the kind of message I've been struggling to get out there for the last month.
Yeah.
Because of you could have probably heard a couple of times during the episode, I'm losing my speech and mumbling and stumbling all over the place. But we've got there.
Yeah, we have. And I think sometimes you just need another person to be there and have the support that we need.
And it's good having you back on the show again. And I'm sure you're going to be back on the show again very, 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 very soon.
Yeah, it's nice to be on here.
Yeah, it's quite fun. Whatever, Saturday nights when you don't drink, how else do you want to spend it? Come and introvert yourselves and do a podcast.
The headphones are feeling more comfortable as the day goes on.
Nice. It's a little bit more professional in this setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
My chair hasn't broken.
That's a plus.
No, thanks again for coming on tonight, Yasmin. I've really, really have appreciated it.
Yeah,
and it's going to be one hell of a year.
It will be.
So, guys, that's We Are the Universe. If there are any questions whatsoever, fire your messages across to me that's at Andrew's Anxiety Adventure or Instagram, or you can get in touch with Yasmin at Yasmin D191 across on Instagram as well. I finally got it right.
Yes.
I tell you what, that took about 9 takes. So sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, that's it. Well, guys, that's all I've got for you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the special episodes talking We Are the Universe. Very soon I've got another guest coming on, and we're going to talk about Annie's Man Club. He's a local facilitator at the Annie's Man Club in Berwick, and I can't wait to have him on as well in a couple of weeks. And until then, guys, any questions, like I said, fire them across on Instagram to us, and I can't wait to speak to you again soon. Good night.
Yep.